Okay, this video is to assist with your 3.4 homework. The first, I do believe, like 5 problems. They're just word problems in terms of a sentence and then translating that into an equation. So in your set of instructions, it tells you that anytime you read the verbiage, a number, you represent it with the letter X. So when we're reading this right here, a number added to -5 is -8. And that is your equal sign. So a number, as it's written here, X, added to your plus sign, -5, and then we have our equal sign, -8. So that's how you would display that as an equation. The next one, number 2, 3 times. So a number. 3 times is your multiplication. And remember, that can be written as 3x. When the operator is missing, it's understood to be multiplication. So 3 times the number yields. That's the same thing as yields. That represents your equal sign, 29. Number 3, so a number subtracted from -66 amounts to, it's just another way of saying equals, yields, amounts to 182. Now this one's just a little tricky because of the subtracted from. You want to write your -66 first minus x equals 182. Now this one's twice a number. It's just another way of saying 2 times x, or just represented as 2x gives, that's another way of describing equals, 113. Number 5, the product is multiplication. So the product of, so we have 5, and we're going to multiply it by the sum of -3 and a number. So you can see how that's represented inside the parentheses. So this 5 would be 5 times the sum of -3 plus x is, again, that's equal sign, -20. That's probably the most difficult one of all these. Okay, number 6, we're just going to skip that one. Now, for the next 3, I do have the homework notes loaded. So I'm just going to read through this and then I'm going to explain to you what you're going to do. So the pattern follows itself for number 7, 8, and number 9. They're all 3 the same. So what you're going to do in these problems, and I'll show it to you, but I just want to read through the problem with you first, and then I'm going to show you how to work through it. So the first one reads, a bird, bird A, when diving can travel 4 times as fast as bird B. Okay, so it's telling you what bird A is. It's 4 times as fast as B. And it doesn't say anything about B, so B would just be the letter X, where A would be 4 times X. And then both of these would equal 100, and then it's over here, 180 miles per hour. So the equation will always be set up the same exact way for all 3 of these problems. And I'm going to show you this. So the goal is it's a 3-step process. 1, you're going to write the equation out. 2, you're going to solve for x. 3, you're going to plug in your value for x to get your number for B and A. And the same thing will apply to number 8. So number 8, you have a brand A. So brand A is worth 47 billion more than B. So B will be just x, the variable x, and then A will be x plus 47. You'll eventually get it, and it's all going to equal 101. So, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. And the same thing, even though it says the distance from city A to B, that value there is 3,003 miles less than the distance of the city C to D. So C to D will be x, And then when it comes to A to B, that will be x minus 3003. And they both will equal a total of 7,847. All right, so let me go ahead and start showing you these. Now, I did take a picture, and I apologize, my phone, I got to get it replaced. I don't know what's wrong with it, but let me go ahead and share these homework notes with you, even though it's a little blurry. So as we're reading number 7, again, it says bird A is 4 times as fast as bird B. So if you could see over here on the left, bird A is represented as 4x, and bird B is represented as x, and the total speed is 180. So how you write the equation out, you just write out 4x plus x equals 180, because it's telling you bird A and B will equal a total speed of 180. So you write out the equation, then you go down below and you start solving for x. Remember, if you have 4x plus x, remember that's represented as 1x, and these are like terms, so we can combine those. So 4 plus 1 is 5, so it would be 5x. Now, to isolate the x, remember we're going to divide out. We'll divide out that 5, and what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So we have a value of 36 for x. Now, if you go up here, we need to plug this stuff in so we can find out the values. So for bird A, you would take 4 times your 36, which you can see I've done down below. So bird A, it's 144 miles per hour. And then bird B, you just plug in the 36 for that letter there, and bird B with 36 miles per hour. Now you'll find it when you go to number 8, it's the same exact process. You just need to read brand A is 47 more than B. And it doesn't say anything about B, so B is just the unknown variable x. So the equation, we write it out, and probably I wrote 47 plus x, but you could also write it as x plus 47. So the equation here is just saying that when we have brand A and B, they total 101 billion. So our equation, we write it out. We have 47 plus x equals 101. Then we're going to solve for it. So remember that you can combine like terms, and x is the same thing as 1x. So 47 and 1 plus 1 is 2, so it should be 47 plus 2x equals 101. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and start isolating x. So we'll take this 47 and move it over to the right. And remember, you'll just, since it's a positive, we're going to subtract it out. So you can see over here on this side of the equation, we have 2x equals 101 minus 47. And if we plug that into the calculator, you end up with a value of 54. So now we are going to get rid of the 2 on the x. Since it's attached to it by multiplication, we can divide out. Remember, 2 over 2 equals 1. So, and what we do to one side, we must do to the other. So we have our value of x equals 27. Now we're just going to go ahead and plug in the value like up here. So it would be 47 plus 27 will give you brand A. And then we know B is just 27, which I have written here in step 3. Plug in 27 for the letter X. So that gives you the values for brand A and brand B. Now, and I apologize about this blurriness. Now, when we get to number 9, I was talking about the distance from A to B versus C to D. And A to B is 3003 less than X. So you can see it would be X minus 3003, and the distance C to D is X, and they give you a total amount, which is 7,847. So you just go ahead and write that as an equation. So the X minus 3003 plus X, so this part here is the distance for AB. This X represents the distance from CD. So we start solving for X. So again, we know these X's are the same thing as 1X, so that will become 2X. So 2X minus 3003. To move it over to the right side of the equation, we can add it. We add it to both sides. And then once we get that value, to get the 2 off the x, we can divide it out by 2. And what you do to one side, you must do to the other. And then you have your value. Now, I know we were plugging in the numbers for the A and B, but in this particular question for the homework, it just wants to know what the miles is for the distance from city C to city D. So they're not asking you for anything about A to B. They just want to know what this X is, the variable is for the C to D. And that's how I came up with 5,425 miles. I hope this video helps you out with your word problems.